Alex here with a high conflict child custody video on step-up plans. I think step-up plans are a great thing. I can understand why they are so annoying to some people, however, and typically what's annoying about them is the gender bias that usually gets applied when it comes to step-up plans. Typically they're applied, or typically fathers are the ones that are made to go through step-up plans. And I'm not going to talk a whole lot about that. I have a video dedicated to gender bias, why it happens. And it's not even, in my opinion, the worst type of bias that's in the court system anyway. I've already stated on numerous occasions that the most common and most dangerous bias, in my opinion, is self-representation bias, which I have another video in. So I actually was subjected to a step-up plan. I didn't know that that's what they were called. Actually, I haven't even heard this term until like a year ago. In my case, I had to go through one of these. It wasn't really offered to me by my ex at all. It was actually brought up by the judge. And he stated to my ex and her attorney that, okay, well, if he's dangerous, then let's go through giving him supervised visits for a couple of weeks, and then let's go to unsupervised visits for a couple of weeks, and then let's go, and then he increased my custody to joint physical custody. There were quite a few things that he did. He increased my timeshare. Anyways, it was through a sort of phase, a series of phases. And I know now that what they refer to this is, they call it a step-up plan. They set up your visitation so that it goes through periods where it's lesser, and then it increases over time after you prove yourself as a good parent and all of that. And again, I know that it annoys some people, but I think it's great. And the reason why I think it's great is because it just cuts through all the nonsense. It is irritating for somebody to have to go through this when they know they're a good parent, but when attorneys are leveling all these crazy accusations that, you're dangerous, you're not going to feed the kids, you're not going to clothe the kids, you're going to, I don't know. When they're saying all of these things, you can either take a principled stand, or you can just cut through all of it and just go through a step-up plan. It's typically not something that takes years. In my particular case, it took like 2 months, and the worst part of it was over in 2 weeks. That was the supervised visit part. The only thing that I would recommend to my viewers is try to get it so that the visitation increases automatically. Try and get it so that certain things trigger the increase. That way you don't have to go back to court and continuously ask to have your visitation increased. That's very stressful, and if you have an attorney, very expensive. In my case, it was an automatic trigger for some of the worst parts in the beginning. So for example, I had supervised visits with my son 2 hours a week, and then the court inserted a trigger that would automatically cause that to end. And that was after a period of 2 weeks of supervised visits. So I had 2 weeks of supervised visits, and based on the court's order, it automatically ended. And I really appreciated that, because I didn't want to have to wait months to go back to court and have some kind of review in front of the judge. Anyway, I would recommend that the worst portions of a step-up plan are automatically dealt with, so that you don't have to deal with this. Because what's going to happen is you're going to end up going back to court, and they're going to end up arguing that you should just stay where you're at. In a high conflict case, that's what's going to happen. And so to just get past all of that with just, okay, it's been 3 weeks now, I'm going into my normal visits. Yeah, they could still try and do something to stop it, but the onus is on them to do it now. If they want to make a big stink about it, they're the ones that have to file papers. They're the ones that have to go to court and argue why the step-up plan shouldn't be applied. And typically, they're not going to want to do that. Whereas if you have it set up the other way around, where you're the one that has to argue why something should change, they will typically file some kind of opposition and go into court and oppose it. Typically, that's what happens. The person who's trying to get something done is typically the one who's disadvantaged when it comes to a situation like this. I want to say one more thing for people who are trying to go through some kind of step-up plan without the court ordering it. With a high conflict ex, this usually fails, and usually you will be strung along. And I don't think that most of my viewers understand why. The reason that your ex in a high conflict case does not want you to get more time is because of the danger, not that you are a dangerous person, but the danger that you might actually prove them wrong. If they have you under supervised visits from no contact at all, you might prove them wrong that you're actually not trying to hurt the kids, and the supervisor's there as a witness to show that you aren't. If you try to upgrade from a supervised visitation schedule to an unsupervised visitation schedule, the danger is not that you're going to do all these crazy things to the child. The danger is that nothing might happen. You might have unsupervised time with your kids and everything goes well. That's a danger to them. If that happens, that's proof that maybe all of these crazy accusations that they're making about you aren't true. Same thing when it goes to joint physical custody. If you're going from an every other weekend parent to joint physical custody with your kids, they're not afraid you're going to ruin the child's life, not sincerely. What they're afraid is that you're going to prove to the court that you're not going to do that. That's dangerous to them because it's dangerous to their narrative. They have a specific story that they have been bringing up over and over again, and to increase your visitation in any way, shape, or form is very dangerous to that narrative that they put forth, because that gives you the opportunity to prove them wrong. And I just want my viewers to know it's not that they don't get it. They actually do. A lot of my viewers think I just need to figure out how to explain to them that I'm okay, that I'm not going to hurt the kids, that everything is going to be fine. No, you don't need to explain any of those things to them. They already know that's true. You need to get the court to impose the step-up plan because they're never going to allow it to occur. What they're afraid of isn't that you're going to hurt the kids. What they're afraid of is that you're going to prove to everyone that nothing bad is going to happen. So hopefully my viewers understand where I'm coming from when it comes to outside of the court step-up plans or asking your ex to voluntarily give you more time. If you're dealing with a high conflict ex, they're not going to voluntarily give you more time. Anything that they're telling you as to why they're not going to give you more time is typically just a pretext for why they want to deprive you of custody and visitation. And you can watch my video on pretexts if you want to learn a little bit more about that. I also have a live stream on narcissistic pretexting where I go into some other aspects of that problem. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make here is, as I've explained in numerous videos, one of my best videos being how abusers win, you're not dealing with a situation where you are misunderstood and you need to get this other person to understand what you are trying to get them to understand. That's a waste of your time. They are not misunderstanding anything. They completely and totally understand what's going on. They completely and totally get it. And what you are going to do, unfortunately, is have them forced to allow you into the child's life. If you have any questions, if anyone has any questions when it comes to this video, definitely post something down in the comments below. And I will see you guys next time.